people. All right, dudes, here we go. So. Does everybody have a chance to get a look at those meeting minutes from last time? They were.
I don't know, I'm sorry.
They were very thorough.
Should I make them tighter?
They were
next
very
time?
thorough. No,
I lose some of the personal comments just so no one gets offended.
Yeah, you like them a little tighter?
No, put them in without like with aliases, like Mr.
Anonymous,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I can do that.
Does anyone have any comments on those meeting minutes? Can we hear a motion to approve? Motion to approve. Any second? Second. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye.
Okay, I from chat.
Oh, yeah. Johnny, Jerry, right? Okay. We don't have to take a roll because he's on the phone, right? Okay, good.
In your packet, I just wanted to, so the first thing I have is just the flyer that's going out after the minutes, after the agenda, it's the flyer that's going out to all the school kids this week. We did it this week because we're worried about, next week's, I think, a 3.5 day week. Then everybody's leaving town, I think, again, and so we don't want them to miss a flyer, so these are going out this week, and I think we want to keep an eye on emails, especially Alex and Lisa, supposed to be pushing it out too. We did put on here playground registration day, so the parents are, every parent's gonna get this, and then if they haven't got our emails or they're forgetting, they'll be calling us soon once they see that registration day part. After the minutes are just the town report that Tim and I worked on. That was submitted.
There's a very popular annual report at the town. They ask everybody to throw in their 2 cents on what their commission or their group or their board worked on during the year.
I included a picture of Holly with Abigail, just, for last year or something. We could probably go right to, I had the summer brochure, I had the spring summer brochure in here. It's still a work in progress. We hope to have it through the printer on Monday. So if you see anything glaring or anything that, like I said, I haven't even had a chance to prove it yet, but Joe is working on it. It's making sure they're all lined up. And then, well, speaking of the rec fair too, I have flyers here. If you know, I've been sending emails to every organization in town, just reminding them, we have a great coming, we have a lot of town boards coming. So we have like the planning board, who was disappointed because they had a zoning board meeting. It was very important like last week and nobody showed up for it. So they're coming with the table. I don't even know what's about. The electric piece, the electric community piece, they have a table. Working on the town hall so they can present their town hall plans. I'm hoping they have someone there to present the field plans. So we got a lot of classic government groups. We have a lot of, we're trying to get.
Acid cert will be there.
Yeah, classic cert. So work on classic police and fire. But like Matt the team's coming for the first time in a long time, and they're just actually for 3 tables, which is great. The Boy Scouts are gonna have like 4 tables. So a lot of these kids are gonna have their plans at tables. So, and then,
Can I just ask, Mathnasium is coming just to sort of tell what services? they
yeah,
have?
summer plans, because I think a lot of people thought, I thought they left town myself, but I didn't realize, but they left that corn a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew they were selling all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they're gone. I didn't realize they moved into, the other area, but they had one of the best tables ever in rec history. Like 6 years ago, and I said, you gotta go, it's beautiful setup, because they have the national funds to do it, but they just asked me for 3 tables, which is great. And just-
They're next to over by Feng Shui.
They're still in Cohasset? Everyone thinks they left. I mean, I teach and everyone.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah, there's only in Hanover.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy that drive. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, they're right over there.
Well, it's gonna tell, when you,
Living there that often, but-
when you see Casey, I mean, if you guys, like I said, I'm just asking, so the flyers there. If you know anybody, where, there are some that, like Stone Club. I said, you have to come because you have to bring your boat in. That's a rec fair legend when there's a, 18 foot,
Sailboat.
a sailboat in the gym. But they've said they're doing online registrations and they don't have to be there. The Little League's coming, psycho football. I mean, there's a good group. Linda Fector's working on the farmer's market piece. She's up to over 12 right now, including the farmer's market table, so they can recruit more members. Yeah, hopefully police and fire, I'm working on Norfolk County District Attorney and the sheriff are both coming, which are fabulous. So then we have the clothing exchange, which has gotten so big that I'm gonna actually put them in the gymnasium. Because I was gonna stuff them in the chorus room and I realized
They
it's
need
too-
more room.
they need more room. Charlie, who you meet today, is doing the youth sports sale. He's gonna be in Mr. Biagini's room because it's easier to go in Mr. Biagini's back door. You can pull the back parking lot and unload and get set up into his room, not Mr. Biagini, John DeWall now. The band room, not their help. So Charlie will use the band room for his youth sports. Stickers are on sale, you know, just, they're not doing computers, they're doing check or cash. Which actually might bring a lot of the seniors in, which is great. And I'm trying to get shuttles, they get shuttles running and drive people to us.
Oh, from their homes?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
we've always wanted that, and they did it one year, and they only had one sign up, I said they're gonna make a push again. Library's gonna be there to present their little plan for the side. Safe Harbor's gonna be there with a small version of, what's it called again, hidden in plain sight. Yeah, Narcan, Tristan will be there with Narcan. So community prevention we are doing. That's the difference between health and, you know.
Yeah.
With Kristen having the Narcan stuff there.
She's giving it out, or she's doing a training?
Good question, let me check.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully we'll fill the whole place.
What'd you say?
She's saving a life.
Um,
Sit over there for a second.
So hoping, I asked DPW, I guess I love it when they used to put a JJ sign for us. At the thing, they didn't do Thanksgiving, and I asked them to do, but they only have one, I guess, so they're gonna do that at the dump, so. If any of you guys are driving by, can let me know if that's visible. It's out.
Sorry
It's
to.
already
Oh, good,
near the dump.
perfect. And then like all our signs were, it says Health and Rec Fair, so we can't, I didn't have time to get all yard signs, so. Just, spread the word, I just want people there. So, the playground, we did the email to playground parents. It's going very well, there's one little glitch where some people are putting in, I think you broke the record, Katie, or Rob did. We have 7 immunization records for Blythe. So.
They're gonna expire probably in
Well, what's
May.
going on is, we didn't realize this, there's a little,
It wasn't working.
the pop, no, it works, like the first one went in. It just is the pop-up that everybody's got that pop-ups blocked.
Oh, so the
Including
user
myself.
doesn't see that the
So-
pop-up came up.
I was
Like
gonna say
you
it
wouldn't
was
have
not
seen
me.
it. It was not, okay,
It's
So
like,
someone in your.
I will let Robin take credit for that.
But yeah, we just have been telling people, we're on the phone with them, just saying, just do it once. And you can actually see it, like after you do the immunization record, you could go to the photo, and then you'll see on the immunization record pending. Pending means we have it. So we've been trying, we're gonna send another email out next week. Yeah, so we'll send an email out this week with some more description, but we got over 200 forms already in.
Right,
I mean, ideally 600 in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Because you need all 3 pieces.
but I like this staged or phased approach.
Yeah,
It's,
we're gonna do it for extremes because we're still chasing 30 out of 150 parents for applications that were due February 1st. So we're gonna do that piece where you have to, by December 1st, we'll open up the application for extreme. And you don't pick, say the weeks, you just do the paperwork. That, like the 1-page thing. And then so anyway, you can register for extreme. And we'll work on that next year, because we just can't be chasing. And we're calling and texting people every day, and emailing them, and they're just ignoring us, so. And we say we're gonna take a week away from them, but we never do it. I don't want to say that publicly, but we never do. So other than that, we can discuss town projects.
What happened at Capitol?
Julie was on the call.
I was there.
How'd it go, Julie?
I'm gonna try to stick to the facts. Not share my opinion, the comments. By the committee. So I thought Michelle did a really great job presenting. Presenting the scaled back phase 1 and phase 2 approaches that we've seen before and that are presented here in the presentation. There was immediate pushback on pickleball. It was strong, a really strong pushback.
In what format, like,
The members felt, I took notes, the members felt as though pickleball is not popular enough and has not been around long enough to warrant adding actual courts in the town.
Did they talk to John McMahon?
No, they have not spoken to anybody. This is just their personal opinions. Which,
I can help make the case.
right? Am I right?
Ditto.
That happened? Okay. Also, they're very concerned because pickleball is a very noisy
Oh, wow.
sport.
It is noisy.
And this would be very annoying to people who are close by.
I didn't say anything.
Um, And says the abutter, and the
I can
highlight-
also make that case.
the highlight for me was a quote, pickleball is for people who can no longer play tennis. So that's that's just it may or may not be true. But that's
So we're.
the vibe that was happening.
The fact, honestly, and I don't want to come across like I'm some sort of, pickleball advocate, but actually the fastest growing demographic in pickleball is 18 to 24.
Yes, these particular commenters were older than that,
Advanced in age.
advanced in age and still playing tennis, and I think proud of it.
Obviously.
So they were then moving on to lacrosse or the sports wall and lacrosse in general. They were questioning why the current lacrosse field is not regulation size when it was perfectly good several years ago and was considered good enough back then. They were notified by Michelle that it is no longer regulation size, which is true. They also suggested that all the kids, instead of using the lacrosse wall, should just go to the school and throw the ball off the wall. I did comment into the meeting and say that that is no longer permitted, which they noted. They suggested Wheelwright Farm as a potential site where the pumpkin patch is to be for pickleball or other fields, and they wondered if Activitas had looked at that area, and I can't actually remember, so I didn't comment on that.
were they on the call?
No, and I think if Activitas had been on the call, that would have been really helpful.
Okay.
Let's see, they are now looking for numbers on the users for all of these different things like the Deer Hill improvements, pickleball, tennis. They want to know how many people will be using these facilities and whether or not it warrants spending this kind of money. And again, it's not a lot of, in my mind, a lot of money. It's like 1.8 and 1. I forget the exact numbers, but this was a scaled back
Yeah, it's like one.
version. Yeah, 1.8 and 1.8. They thought that that was exorbitant. And I think what the disconnect was, maybe they weren't involved in the process all along, and they didn't seem to think that the community had been engaged. They didn't know enough about pickleball. They didn't know enough about the sports wall, and they were really hesitant to be on board with it because there was no buy-in from them. So then they asked for a new proposal with just redoing the 6 tennis courts and remarking 1 tennis court for pickleball. So just adding paint on the court for pickleball and not actually making pickleball courts. They were also a bit perplexed that the request was coming from Michelle and not a department. And they were surprised that recreation wasn't the commission, wasn't the group that was bringing this forward. Because they thought it seemed like a recreation thing. Jean Dipple spoke up thankfully and clarified that this is a select board initiative and that we have been involved all along. And I thought she did a really nice job pushing back on some of their concerns. So I think we need to take a step back and get them up to speed on everything that's happened so far with this in order to get their buy-in, because I don't think we're asking for a ton of money. And they just didn't seem to think that these things were needed. Which was a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I talked to Michelle when this 5 and 5 plan came out, Tim and I talked and we're like, what happened to, the girls' tennis team has 75 players. Boys have 25 to 30, according to Jeff this week, so. losing a tennis court with 75 players to try to practice on for 2 hours is tough.
Yep.
So Gigi supposedly told Michelle she wants her 6 courts. So I had no problem saying, yeah, let's go 6 and 4. My suggestion, of course, I'm always concerned about the path for kids to get to school.
Mhm.
So I asked Michelle, so why don't we go 6 tennis and then 4 pickleball, because that, the break there at the 6 and 4 is where the path is.
Mhm.
Because the 6 courts are there, then the path, goes out. And she did say it would be twice more expensive to put pickleball at the end than,
Oh, to swap where they are?
which I don't understand, but I need to find out what that, why, because it would be perfect place with the path,
You mean
Between
to
two.
have the tennis courts first at the
Yeah.
entrance and then pickleball?
the way it is now.
Well, the committee actually asked about that. They said, is there any reason why they are laid out the way they are? And Michelle said, no, there's actually no big reason. So maybe there's some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
Maybe. But their comment was, well, why can't you just keep using the courts as they are?
Mhm.
And then they had to be reminded, they're in such bad disrepair. And they said, well, why can't you have tournaments now? Because they're in bad disrepair. Why can't you just paint the lines for pickleball? Well, because then you can't host tournaments if all the courts are marked for pickleball.
That's actually not true. MIAA does allow.
I guess the tennis coach is
Yeah.
concerned about many lines on the
Yeah.
court and it being confusing, so.
It is
It's the
approved by the state association, because actually most of them have.
Okay, they wanted to know that. They
Yeah.
wanted to know if it was a requirement. that-
I was asked to check with the MIAA, and then actually Steve Riccardi called the MIAA, and we both
Okay.
got the same answer.
They wanted to know about that.
Yeah. so.
Okay, so I just, yeah, I think they just need more information and maybe they'll get on board.
And after the articles this weekend about Wellesley, I thought maybe for Derek's sake, having the 4 pickleball courts at the end.
Just glad you're thinking about me. I appreciate it.
Are there lights?
That's been crossed off. I think,
That's
yeah.
been crossed
That's,
off,
okay, that's,
and that was 475.
And actually, Julie, do you know, I mean, the plan that they gave us here
Yeah,
has a roadway in there, but that's not part of. phase one, right?
no,
Okay.
not part of phase 1, part of phase 2, and they didn't really want to talk about phase 2 yet. They just wanted to focus on phase 1. They had concerns about the Deer Hill project too. They felt like that was an awful lot of money. I think it was $650 to grade and level it and clear a little bit more brush. One offered to go in there with a chainsaw himself and to handle it. It's so entertaining. So concerns. Yeah. It was eye-opening.
So the plan is here, so you guys want to look at it. This is what Michelle sent me today. And I asked her if there's any, I mean, I guess. I asked her, I said, do you want the rec board to recommend anything? So,
Yeah, I think they're looking for that.
okay,
And I nearly spoke up and then I thought, no, I don't have the authority to do that. And I haven't been with the commission long enough to know how long everyone's been involved. But I wanted to speak up because it really seemed as though we should have been vocal.
Yeah.
On that call. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
John, do you have any opinions at all? Pickle?
By the way, I don't even play pickleball. I just like end up putting it in a lot of like trend reports and stuff like that I'm doing. So I just like I'm more up to speed on it than most, but I'm a casual player at best.
I love it.
Uh,
I Googled it. It's been around since 1965. They were wondering how long it had been around. Google search 1965.
You have to explain what Google was? Yeah.
I really did.
Was able to ascertain was that's.
1965. In fact, there's a whole time.
What's up, Rex?
So we'll take a little break and just do a little, we can actually, each of them, maybe 2 minutes, they can tell what they're doing, maybe, or?
All right, well, that sounds good. Okay, so this part of the program is gonna be, we're gonna get out some technical appreciation to these young people that are putting together some great projects for the town that have an aspect of recreation to them in some respects. First name here is Charlie Lankow. Charlie, you want to tell us what your deal is?
Sure. So for NHS, National Honor Society at Cohasset, we were required to do a independent service project or ISP. And so as I was brainstorming topics to do, I kind of thought about what could really help a lot of Cohasset families, and I thought we're a sporty town, so I thought sports, and then I kind of just, it came to me that I could do a sports drive, so I've been working with Mr. Carroll over here to collect sports equipment from everything from skates to bags, cleats, everything. And we've been collecting them downtown, at the downtown center and underneath the library at the other rec department center. And it's been going on since beginning of the year. It's been very successful so far. And I'm looking forward to being able to resale all the equipment on March 26th at the community fair. So the rec department is running. And all the proceeds go to the Social Service League of Cohasset, which will be great.
And Charlie, along with President Sam Greg, but NHS can help staff the rec center, oh, not the rec fair, so. Try and line up all the volunteers. We need a lot of volunteers for afternoon when the truck comes, get all the table, the chairs out. And then do the whole building, and then we ask them to come Sunday morning to help people where to go, the vendors, and then they usually man a table. A sad table sometimes, and then well, sure as it gets distracted driving, and it's called now. And then they also help break down, it's a lot of work to break down all those tables and chairs. We usually have a crew of NHS students that break down, so sometimes we have about 24 NHS volunteers, so Charlie and Sam Greg are hopefully gonna be lining all those guys up too, so.
All right.
Do you wanna hold those and we'll just do?
You wanna hold it to the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, how about you? Want to tell us what's going on with you?
Sure, yeah, so here's a talk about Sage My Eagle project that I'm currently at. So just to introduce myself, my name is Adriaki. I'm currently a Life Scout, Troop 28, our troop in Cohasset. And to give a rundown of my project, it's a solar powered mobile device or phone charging station that I will be building and integrating with the bench. The project aims to assist people whose mobile devices or phones may have like low battery power or die when they're out and about in town. The station will allow people to plug in their devices for a few minutes and to get enough charge to kind of, they need to contact other people or maybe for like an emergency or something like that. They have access to that power while out and about in town. The two locations for my project are Milliken Field and behind the library at the basketball field outside the Cohasset Rec Center. And the select board approved my project for both locations back September. And currently I'm working on my fundraising. My project, yeah, and
How's that going?
it's going well. I've talked to a few different organizations in town, like basketball boosters, soccer boosters, and then whatever, but.
What's the funding needed, China?
The funding I need,
Yeah.
so the total funding is $2,000. As of right now, I have presented to each of the three organizations, and I believe the estimated value of my funding right now. From each of the different organizations, I believe at $1,900. So. Yeah.
Right.
So it's near that initial estimate.
All right, good stuff. Let's see, next up, Rex.
Hello, my name is Rex Schiffman. I'm also a Life Scout with Troop 28. And my project is redoing the stairs up to Milliken Field, the wooden stairs that are completely that are falling apart and no longer safe. I have also gotten approval from the town and from the school for my project, as well as all the funding for my project from the town. It's a really large project. It'll take many volunteers and a lot of money on materials, and will probably be completed late this spring after the sports season or early summer. But it's
Have you got those volunteers lined up?
it'll probably be mostly other scouts, but
Twist some arms?
Yeah.
Bribe some kids or some candy or cookies or what have you?
usually some food.
Super. Right on. Awesome. All right, good stuff. Haley.
For my project, I'm painting two of the baseball dugouts and the storage shed on Milliken Field. So the baseball players have quality buildings to use.
Awesome. Nice. And you do it by yourself?
I'm in charge of that and I will get helpers to help me paint and stuff.
All right.
Do we want to take our Eagle Scouts, a quick picture of them with you, just look at this over here, right next to the flag?
We gotta talk to Dimitri. He's gonna tell us.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. The meeting I talked earlier, so.
Um,
We see best for last.
My name is Dimitri Peters. I'm currently a Life Scout. I'm aiming to become an Eagle Scout. And just a quick backstory. I was a part of like the RISE program for a very long time, which is run by the rec department. I participated in the rec department summer camp programs for almost every year that I was in elementary school. And I live like right across the block basically from the library, and outside of the library, there's the playground, and the playground has a series of picnic benches. And basically, my Eagle Scout project is to help create a new series of picnic benches, which will hopefully last for the next couple of years, because right now they're falling apart.
Yeah, they are. It's great. All right, good stuff, you guys.
I think we'll get the Eagle Scouts, fix the flag, and take a quick photo. Sure. Charlie, you can sit here, I got 3 more NHS kids behind you. Yeah, what's that? You go in there, Charlie. I'm gonna-
Very good.
Success. Yes.
I want to thank the parents for coming through.
Yes, yeah, thank you, parents. Thank you to the Scoutmaster. Man, I heard, that's right.
Jack, you want to come down here?
Congrats. All right, let's get on the line. Jack, tell me what you're up to over here.
So I've been going after school on Thursdays and Fridays to help out with the RISE program, just take care of the kids, like playing soccer with them and, you know.
This is kind of like, this is part of your National Honor Society, your
Yeah, my individual service program.
ISP. Okay, good. Awesome.
You've been with us, Jack, you've been with us since summer, right?
Yeah, since like August, I helped clean up.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of do various things around,
Yeah,
around rec. Nice.
So lately he's been focusing on RISE after school and learning arts and crafts and teaching kids arts and crafts. It's a hidden talent of his.
Right. All right, Nick, what are you up to?
Sam and I also helped with the RISE program every Tuesday and Thursday for a couple
Well,
months.
rec side.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yep.
And then we also helped with the turkey trot. We helped set it up with the name cards and the t-shirts. And yeah, just helping the kids do their homework, helping to each other.
General help. and
Yeah.
Pretty much whatever needs to get done. Yeah, nice. How about you, Sam?
Yeah, it's, Nick and I did our ISP at the rec center and. But I've done service with rec a number of times, like rearranging office space and whatnot. They always have something to do and I.
Free labor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy to get some free labor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we did 30 hours total ballpark at the
Did you guys didn't you put together like a album, like a photo album or?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to present that on Sunday, March 26th. It's a
Okay.
goal to have.
Yeah,
We have the two girls that, well, actually, we have some RISE stuff there.
cool.
Diana had Rex on a table.
Hmm.
So our goal is to present your little video going.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
we
like
had-
you took like promotional photos.
we had taken photos and
Yeah.
like little things that sort of draw new kids to go down to the program, and so we did make a slideshow, and
Awesome.
the idea is we'll present it at some point.
Great.
So like our goal is to, do the middle school presentation and also
Mhm.
we're running at the rec fair. We should
Yeah.
Get the kinks out and
Yeah.
make sure it's good to go, so.
And then take it into the Deer Hill and in the middle school.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's
And
great.
these are the guys, I mean, I know Sammy and Charlie, it's a good time talking, we're gonna try, I know, give Charlie a long list from 2019.
19.
So like, this is, like, Norton,
Right.
like we had volunteers for afternoon. Help pick all the tables and chairs out, and your brothers might have helped.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sunday morning, and Sunday day during the day, and then Sunday afternoon to break down. So between the two, you're hoping you guys could, Charlie, your last session to me this week was, today was. For Mr. Turner,
Yeah, today during history, I told him about how we should gather more volunteers, and he was saying that if I write up some language that he could post on a Google Classroom to get more people to do it.
so ideally, like I said, we need about 6 to 8 guys on Friday afternoon, because those
Mm-hmm.
tables and chairs are heavy.
Yeah,
We clean the school, we actually clean the entire school for ourselves. Get everything out of the way, especially the cafeteria, to put everything everything in the cafeteria has to go into a closet. And all the, so we stuff those in the kitchen. And then Sunday morning, we have a couple, 6 people tell people where to go. And then there's a table, like we just want to do, like Jack, I'm hoping you do a baseball table. We're gonna have a table, we're gonna do a baseball camp off through June. I'm hoping you'll have a baseball table or promote the clinic.
Yeah.
Our baseball camp the last week of June, we're gonna split 3 ways. We're gonna give a third goes to us, third goes to the Diamond Club. Which oversees a lot of it,
Yeah.
but that is, they make donations to the team, they make donations to the field. Diamond Club is the official baseball boosters. And a third of it will go into a fund just for maintenance of baseball, which we've never had before, because most of our baseball users don't, they use fake, so this will be a fun, and it should make good money, so last week of June, as long as there's no snow days. We used to have social baseball club, and we used to have 200 kids, and we used to make $25,000-$30,000 in a week, so we'll come close, and that'd be nice, nice to have that in a bank, so. And we'll pay Coach Larson as the director, that's our goal.
What days of work fair?
The baseball,
Or just the rec fair that you would need service for?
right at the end, 3 to 5. Sunday, 9 to 12, a couple kids 9 to 1. And then there used to be a table for Sat, I don't know if they're still, we want to check on that, if is that still a part of the HS?
I'm not sure.
Okay. The students are good distracted driving.
I haven't heard of it. I could ask about it.
Okay. And then we need a lot of people,
You're asking.
and like I said, we need about a dozen people to break down, it's like 4 o'clock. It goes quickly, but here it does.
Yeah, I could make a post on NHS
Okay.
if you want.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Turner about it.
Charlie has a list that I gave him, from Mrs. Norton, with the breakdown of times.
Yeah.
So I can track that over the years.
Maybe bring some food too. to entice people.
Oh, yeah, launch is gonna, I forgot launch will be there,
Oh, launches? there?
launch is coming with their food truck. So we're gonna try to, they have a little white bag special coming out of the truck and launch, and of course, we're at the farmer's market too. So, we'll have food from those guys.
All right. You want photos with these? Yes,
Sure.
very good. Thank you. Sure. Providing all this manpower that we clearly don't have in the record.
Jack, you're a junior, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie.
Oh, we just gotta shift that way a little bit, so it's not the water over there. All right, good.
Sam, what's the word in school?
Oh, I don't know. I'm still waiting back.
Yeah. So I'll send you the emails that I sent, I gave you. It's a good way to start.
Yeah.
You're right. So Jack, you're pretty close to hours right now, just so you're off for the baseball. The fair meeting, we'll wrap it up.
Without these 2 days and then
Are they in between?
Okay, we're still watching the baseball game.
yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
All right, guys, thank you. Thanks. Congrats.
Yeah.
Think about doing that, Tim, like, well, for the board, like, we have 24 volunteers every summer. I know, it's tough to squeeze them all in here, but. Some of them do 200 or 300, really like to do 300 hours actually.
Yeah, why don't we do it on the last day of the camp? Yep. Just have them all come to the hot dog day and we'll do it that day.
Okay.
And take photos.
Sounds good.
Before we get into the committee reports, we do need a vote. There's one item that is not on the agenda that we do need to vote on.
Oh.
So from as the town and the CPC have made abundantly clear, they really like rec to have skin in various projects. Meaning like funding from the rec department. So for the Beechwood Playground, and how did that go at Capitol?
I had to sign off right
Okay, so
before,
okay,
but all they, she just. Talked about it for 2 minutes but it wasn't much of a conversation.
I think she's asking for money, but they don't have quotes or anything back yet. I
Okay,
don't think.
okay,
She was working on that, but I don't think she had.
I had to sign off right before she talked about it, and I know they only gave her 2 minutes to talk
Well,
about it.
Regardless of that, one of the things that we're proposing to do to help fund this, obviously. If they're asking Captain for $250,000, and we are able to transfer $7,000 from our Thanks for Giving fund from the road race this past Thanksgiving. The vote would be for us to transfer $7,000 to this Beechwood Playground Fund, which I guess would only go if the project is a go. So there's no guarantee that the project is a go right now. They're working on it and they're trying to get funding from capital. They're trying to get funding from. They may have to bring it to town meeting, well, they're gonna have to bring it to town meeting if capital said whatever they said. So if the project's a go, this $7,000 will be spent on that project.
And if not, it's returned to us.
We will put it actually, we have an account on the very bottom of that spreadsheet, crazy spreadsheet I had. We have a Milliken Field. That was 25,000 was transferred from the field fund, 7 years ago.
Soccer.
To put towards Milliken Field. So you'll, at that very, like I said, that spreadsheet I had 3 years ago, there's 25,000 and change. The change is actually, you guys approved, we opened up a Beechwood Playground inside our website.
Yeah. I saw
So that 25,000, it's $100. And then we'll put that 7, well, that 7 doesn't have to come out of the playground, that fund, but you could put it right to that account when necessary, because like I said, 25 is gonna go to the shed. Anything beyond that is, it's sort of a,
So we're
It's
already
not
giving,
fundraising.
we're giving 20K to the shed for Milken?
that was from 7 years ago. We have a line item in our
That was,
budget.
so 7 years ago, we gave 25 grand for the shed, and the shed's happening this spring. Is that
We
what I'm
hope.
understanding?
We hope.
Oh, my gosh, okay,
So a similar situation will probably happen with Beechwood, if it, I hope it doesn't drag on that long, but if it does, the same scenario, the $7,000 that we voted on tonight will sit in a fund.
Got it.
Kind of or encumbered for that process,
Yep.
for project, but not, we can't touch it for anything. Unless we vote it back or the project dies. So I guess that's where we're at right now. What wound up happening there is it's a split between the rec department and the Clark Charterman Fund. And of that split, we're able, with some money left over to start the race next year. So startup costs are still, we're keeping the startup costs. The excess, the extra is this $7,000. So that's the vote that we need to take. So I guess a motion in that regard.
Motion to allocate $7,000 for the purpose of Beechwood Playground.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Right.
Aye.
And we have done it before. We did it for when actually the Tulios, when back in Natasha Arnold and Ralph Tulio did the Deer Hill Playground. We actually did the same thing. We that account, that 25,000 before that was there. There was a Deer Hill Fund playground. That's sort of our fundraising line item. So we raised a couple $1,000 actually through the playground registration. People were throwing in $25, $50 when they registered for summer camp for like 2 years. So they gave them a couple thousand. We did it for Osgood. We helped out with Osgood Playground. Had a little fun there 1 year. The money we just rolled it right back. We set a check to the school department. That was a little less, like I think about $1,000. So we've done it before, so we'll just see how it goes. So we are going to put, when you go to check out in 2 weeks for playground registration, the option will be there. Do you want to make a donation to the Beechwood Playground or to Jack, the scholarship for Jack, for the staff? Because that's usually our big day where we get $1,000 for scholarship money and hoping they give $1,000 to Beechwood too. So, and it'll be open and they're going to be at the rec fair at a table, trying to drum up support too.
For the playground.
Yep.
Great. So I have a question. When a school playground needs repairs, who pays for that? Where did those funds come from?
usually maintenance and town meeting.
Okay, so from the
Or
maintenance
PSO,
budget,
PSO is a big one. I mean, PSO,
also the parent school
Yeah.
organization.
I think, Deer Hill I know is 50-50. They asked for
And then-
20,000.
Town maintenance budget,
Yeah.
which is approved at town meetings. Is that what I'm?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, playgrounds do fall into the maintenance department.
Okay,
Um,
I've heard from a couple people and noticed myself that the Deer Hill playground does have some issues with it. It is in disrepair in a few areas, and I just wondered who brings that up and how does that get paid for? Is that under our purview?
No, it's not. I mean,
Okay.
it'd go through, obviously, probably Alex Sullivan first report what the
Yep.
issues are, and then meet with maintenance and say what it is. And
Got it.
like I said, that Deer Hill playground was 50-50 CPC and fundraising. So they did an incredible job fundraising, the Deer Hill group, all the bricks. And maybe, I know they're doing bricks again, so
Yeah.
maybe that's being used to.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
noticed I
contributions.
got that flyer, yeah.
Yeah.
The kids want to do it. Okay, so
Actually-
CPC and then the PSO fundraising.
Yep.
Okay,
Mm,
Okay, great. So there's that. How about committee reports? Jeff, anything on the harbor?
I do not have an update on the harbor. We have our next meeting, in 2 weeks.
And Jeff, I guess
There's,
one question for you is, you might want to elaborate what that job is like, because someone's going to take your spot. That's a record, where the next, after the election,
yeah,
if you want to, I know who's going to be interested,
yeah, I can talk a little bit about what it is. So, we get a seat, the commission gets a seat on the harbor committee. The harbor committee did a lot of work a year or 18 months ago to put together a harbor plan. And, within that plan, there are enumerated a number of projects that the harbor committee is looking to take on. Commercial fishing is at the top of the list in terms of support, so a couple of projects are dealing with kind of infrastructure for some of the fishermen, and then a number of other initiatives, even talking about sort of stormwater issues and, erosion, and it's a pretty lengthy list of things to take on, and the committee formed kind of an implementation work group to try to move some of these initiatives forward. And so there's almost sort of the harbor committee is, maybe it's 7 people, including the harbor master. And then there's a smaller implementation subcommittee that kind of tries to get some of the initiatives rolling. So it's really just sort of representing recreation concerns on the harbor committee. Usually that's not the first voice in the debate that goes on, right? We have a couple of 3 or 4 lobstermen that come to all the meetings and want to make sure that their needs are heard. And there's, a very energetic debate and a lot of interesting conversations that occur between various kind of youth organizations that surround the harbor, like we have rowing and we have I'm not gonna remember the names of them all, but
the 2 sailing clubs.
yeah,
Opposite sailing.
and so it's never boring. The meetings are never boring. There's some pretty interesting personalities, or pretty strong personalities with a lot of opinions about the best ways to spend the time of the harbor committee, and it's all good, but it's trying to find the ways to kind of slip in, topics around recreational use of the harbor. Obviously over the last 6 or 8 months, it's been a lot about shell fishing.
Mhm.
The one issue that's now coming before that group, and we'll talk about it in 2 weeks, is they're looking to expand and create more space for dinghies. So basically put in a new dinghy dock. So if you're standing at the sailing club and looking out towards the harbor, it would be just to the right of the sailing club. And that would be, a place for another, I don't forget whether it's 30 or 40 maybe. So, pretty wide range of initiatives, and
Most of them require grants to go, get the funding for those, including the launch that's being rebuilt now over on Parker Ave, and so they're fairly, substantial projects. So mostly I haven't had a ton of input. Tim Davis, thank you, is the chair, and he does a lot of the work. He does a lot of the lifting. But I try and just, contribute wherever we have concerns around rec. So that's the job. Yeah, and that's the next thing, the boat launch at Parker Ave is, active now, and then the next thing is me taking on that Ding Dock initiative.
Awesome. Hey, John, you got anything on open space?
Yeah, we just met last week. We had a couple speakers. Montana, who's doing compost for the town. She came in and knows her stuff for sure. And then Jack Buckley came in and talked to us a little bit about, I guess it's called GIS. But I guess the only real update, obviously, Earth Day, April 22nd. And I think next steps there are just kind of getting in front of the select board and getting that date, kind of signed off on.
We're hoping to come to the fair too, have a table for Earth Day and EcoFest. We're trying to get that lined up.
Yes. Both of them, right.
Public safe harbor, Allison, anything there?
Essentially just what's listed in the bulletin. Go to Take Back Day is also April 22nd at the police station. And Guiding Good Choices that will be facilitated by Linda Nathan and starting again in June.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody got anything to say?
You want to talk about town hall renovation, possible?
Oh, yeah, we gotta. Okay, so. I don't want to say too much. Let's just say that if the residents of town hall, the workers in town hall are displaced because of renovation and or reconstruction, they need to go somewhere. One of the places they have targeted or soft targeted is the rec center. So essentially, the next X years that it takes to renovate the place, the town hall, they want to relocate some town offices to the rec center, which would negate the rec center. It would just be a garage building that they have for town offices, which would, kind of through a lot of effort and a lot of fanfare, we opened this place, and yeah, it's had a little bit of traction issues, but it's what I understand from Ryan, it's doing well. I don't know if it's leaps and bounds, but it's doing well, and kids utilize it. So it's a benefit, it's a positive, it's a plus to the town. Relocating, though, not shutting down, maybe shutting down the location, but not shutting down the program is an option. But finding the space to be able to pull that off is challenging.
Did the water sewer treatment plant come up as a possible place?
So
for
they're looking at a
business?
lot of different places. Yeah, so from our standpoint, they haven't really shared as much with us. It's more like, hey, why
Putting out the
can't we
feelers.
take this place?
Right.
Like, why can't we take this? Like,
Like,
tell me why we shouldn't,
Mm.
is basically what it was. So, there's a couple reasons, because, that's kind of where Ryan's salary comes from. So,
Well, it's an important part of our town.
Yeah.
It's important for our teenagers' mental health,
yeah.
our kids' mental
a lot of
health.
things, Yeah,
It's good for a lot of things.
totally agree.
It's a pillar in our community. It is a big deal to take it over. So I hope they're looking really closely at all the other spaces, including
yeah,
their
they're-
own town.
As I
spaces.
understand it, and again, I don't, this is all gonna be predicated on town meeting and whether or not they get the cash and the money.
Mm.
Whatever.
There's a lot of
whatever is
steps.
decided. Yeah, whatever's said. So it's a few steps down the road, but it's something that we probably should be thinking about. And I feel pretty strongly about it too,
Mm,
that they should not take it.
mm,
And it should stay with rec.
mhm.
I don't know what level of. I'm sure our input would be welcomed, but I don't know if there's much we can do if they
about it.
decide that it's gonna happen.
So the town owns the building?
Yeah.
And we rent it from them, or how does it work?
We've been paying all the utilities there for 24 years.
Okay, so
Yeah.
would they then be paying, financially, I'm just wondering how that would work. If they
Oh, they would
own the
take all
space.
the, obviously, I wouldn't be paying the light, the gas bill anymore. I'm concerned, I mean, we have. The teen center does not, we got Ryan's salary, we have, it doesn't make money, we lose 25. 2 years ago, we lost 25, but no, we're not in it for the, other
No.
programs help support it. We lose, if we lose the rec center, we also lose $25,000 of income from the bolster and dance down there. If we give them the first floor across the street, we
Mr.
lose.
Holster, I mean, I can't imagine this place not being, what it is now.
Well, and like I said, we also, if we move them downstairs to us, leave the ants upstairs, that's our biggest money maker. We give them the boat run, obviously I have to get rid of the boat because I can't trust teens on the boat, but. We lose about, we lose
Where does
about,
the boat go? And like everything gets displaced.
we lose about $25,000 of income there. A week.
Oh, yeah, for the boat.
So we lose about 25,000 income first floor alone. And I CMI, I love having CMI there.
Should we draft a letter just preemptively of all the reasons why we think it's not the best choice? Is that something we should just start brainstorming right now, or is that premature? Because it might be worth us just getting our ideas.
You know what,
in here.
yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we put something in writing so that if it turns, if the
Like-
pressure gets turned up like a half a notch, we're like, well, we have to
Exactly.
talk about this.
I just feel like we should be ready.
How many town employees are there?
What's the number that they want to put over the rec center?
Don't even know.
I have no idea.
I know they had a plan all the time and, they probably keep the building for maintenance because they were planning to take that building from us before the teen center.
Yeah, so the issue would be this, right? So it's like the slippery slope. So if they do wind up using that as a relocation spot for people that work at town hall. When town hall's done, we're not getting it back
Yeah, right.
because DPW is gonna come down and do, yeah, we haven't had a rec center there for years.
Right.
Now we can make it, it's been a town building
No,
for
we
the
cannot
last 2
use a rec
years. So
center.
now, and it's like a precedent thing. And now it's like, well, we did it once and now we're just
No.
gonna keep it and we're gonna bring in other departments. And so like the story goes that like so facilities is based kind of in the basement of the Deer Hill. The facilities department, they've got a presence over there, as well as other places around town, but. For them to do a lot, like, oh, we need to like weld a pipe to put into the thing over at, whatever. They can't do that over there because school's going on, they can't, all the noise and everything else. They'd love to do it downtown where they're not bothering anybody, and it's like they have all the space and the room and it was a DPW garage back in the day anyways. So it's got, again, there's precedent for them working out of there, making it like a work facility. Yeah, I know, I agree.
Allison helped me draft
I
a
mean,
letter.
this is,
Yeah, Allison helped me draft a letter to the high school and middle school. Asking for a classroom.
Space.
when they came a calling,
No, Allison and I helped me write a letter to
We're looking for a replacement.
Brian Scott and John Mills, said,
Ah.
can we have a classroom for 2 years? And
okay,
you saw the response. It doesn't sound good.
it didn't go well, okay. Why were you asking for classroom?
So that in case.
To replace the rec center.
Displaced,
Oh,
that we had a
so
place
this
to
has
go.
been, oh, you guys have been talking.
Just
about
on
this
that,
for a while.
just in the last couple weeks.
Oh,
So
It only came up a couple weeks
okay,
first.
they're going to town meeting, they're going to town, the ballot box. A lot depends on what happens.
right.
I
Okay,
mean, they might be fired, or, it might be a split with money because. Depends on what happens with this,
mm-hmm,
so.
Yeah, the timing is ill-timed, fortunately. for
Yeah.
Our projects.
I just don't want us to get short shrifted. I just don't think recreation's important, but it is, that's why we're all here. It is important, and it's important to the town,
Very important.
and the people in it, so.
Just for the sake of conversation, I'm not saying that this would be illogical, anything, just curious, as we're sitting here in this room, and this building is nice and new
It's so
and
lovely.
spacious. I just am curious.
You want to answer that, Jen?
Yeah, I mean, what a great
I mean, we could
brainstorming
really bring
idea
generations together.
together. It's quiet here. It's
They,
nice
they
and quiet here.
do,
It's
they
not too
do
big.
close, they do close early. There is gonna be a shift in town hall hours that, which might. They're getting rid of, which I just found out, 2 long Tuesdays. I never heard that.
Eight PM? And what time do they open?
Oh, no, 8:30 to 7, 8:30
Oh,
to
it's
7.
7?
So, and
It's
they,
8.
and they leave Friday at 1, but they're talking about changing hours and. Employees would have half-hour lunch break and a little more flex time, but they lose 2 long Tuesday. Still,
Too short Friday.
the rumor has it there might be one.
I wish I had a Friday.
Mini Friday.
So. But this place is open late on Tuesdays, but the rest of the week they're out of here by. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. But there is
Oh,
some,
they could just switch days.
there are some conditions on this building
Oh,
Sure.
sure.
from the people here, what's it called, social service thing,
So
and the
service
money that they got from
that they,
benefactor.
Mm.
I mean, they've been great to us, like, I'll need to move, like, if we did lose it, like, I'll have to move Fred, my Wednesday night Tai Chi class. Down over here, and we'll just have to let them in every on Wednesday nights for that. I mean, it is available to us, I actually, they, for safe voting. They're great about that, I just don't know about them having teenagers in here playing. Big fun.
playing loud.
No,
loud
I'm
rock
thinking
music.
about the town
town
offices coming over here. I mean, that's what I was picking up from what you were mentioning.
Okay.
You were talking about
I had
rec center?
considered that too.
Oh, I'm talking about.
I
quiet
think,
town
I
employees
think
moving here.
some will be here. I assume Mary Good will come.
Sorry,
right
I thought you meant-
right here.
Oh, I was
Quiet
actually
town
envisioning
employees.
even this room. I was like, it's almost the size of
This-
the rec center.
This
If
was
they
the
fit
pool,
there.
this was the pool
Oh, I
for
see.
the guys.
Make this a.
They got rid of it.
I hadn't thought of that. I thought you meant bring the workers in here.
The kids couldn't be here because it would be too loud underneath, but
Oh.
the employees could be in this room was one thought. And the second thought was, what else is happening downstairs that I don't see, because I just came up the stairs. that
Right,
Could that be a place for
Yeah.
kids?
yeah. Oh, good
And
question.
Chris, does Safe Harbor and, Social Service League. I know. Mhm.
She's not, oh yeah, she was both, but I think she's retired.
Oh,
Let's try to play Chris Murphy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Irish.
Oh, yeah. Irish.
Like I said, I mean, I wouldn't mind a draft of a letter, if you guys want to get together and just send something to the board.
Yeah,
There's no more chief come from you guys, so.
yeah.
And just hammering the whole fact that of how valuable it is
Yes.
to rec into the town.
Yeah, we
Well,
can't
to
lose.
rec, like, it's important to rec too, because, it's funding for,
Yeah,
for other things.
right.
Not, it doesn't, it's not a money maker, but if you lose that money that comes in.
Yeah.
You're just that far further behind.
Right.
At the beginning of every year.
Yeah.
And Linda Volster would come to your office, is that the thought, or she would disappear?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just thinking of support in the town, if
I mean,
some
you
of
get a
these
lot of
moms knew.
A
support.
lot of people don't like our new setup, program.
Parents.
We get to change her to a program. Because the way she was, where it was just a 1-day drop in.
Yeah.
For 10 years, they were Board of Health, Fire Department, this is daycare. Not unlicensed daycare, so we switched to a 4-week program. It's still, it's a fight, I mean, we have parents call, say, I'm coming for 1 day, I said, we have to pay for you have to come, it's a 4-week program. So it's $45 a day, you're paying $180 for 1 day, and people are doing it.
Mm.
But, because they're
Well,
definitely
that's-
desperate.
Yeah.
But,
So,
but they do scream and holler at us, and they say, listen, we can't, if we start breaking away from that full program, then we're a daycare again. And someone's gonna, they're gonna come in and just say, you're done. We were always worried about that.
mhm.
It took, I mean, Linda being gone for so many years, that sort of, thank God has moved those parents out.
Right.
Because those parents from previously would never have gone for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
well, they were
full.
used to what they were used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's getting, I mean, she's getting anywhere from, she get 10 on Fridays, every 4-week Friday, she'd get 10. We're gonna try to do something with her for the summer, where she ties in with the summer program. Instead of having, where's a 3-week program. See, we gotta talk to her about it, see, we don't want her numbers to drop dramatically, but. Like if you had a 4-year-old, you could drop the 4-year-old off at Linda from 9 to 12. Get your high five kid and get your Oscar Deer Hill kid and do all, unload all 3 kids, so. But the future, her being, I mean. In our location, it could work, but there's a lot of stuff,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
and we'd have to. Like, we have the fire department come in every, once a month on Fridays, we love having them in there, and they either have them relocate somewhere else, because they. Even though it's only one Friday a month, it's good for us, it's good, good exposure with the fire department. Little things throughout the year, like she couldn't run summer, because we'd have, summers would be gone for her all completely. Starting next year. So. But it's a work in progress.
Something exciting for me anyway, last night, the select board appointed me to the new roadways and sidewalk committee. Kind of shocking. I'm not, thanks, I'm not sure of the tie-in to rec quite yet, but if it makes sense for me to be commenting on what happens on that committee here, then I'm happy to do that.
Well, I mean, it all comes down to, we had a kid hit, back in 2018, racing out of camp. He ran into a car and then it happened again in September, and they,
Right,
same guy who,
coming out the driveway.
coming out his driveway,
Yeah.
but for some reason it was all thrown to, this is the rec department responsibility.
Because bike safety,
Bikes,
because
well,
of bike safety.
but it was school kids.
Yeah.
and Police issue, I was like,
No,
you don't have, we always see the kids in the summer.
right,
So it's gonna be brought back to just an overall safety issue where. My idea is just the kids don't know what the blind driver is. And I know you don't want to put a sign up at every single house saying blind driver, blind driver. But the kids my idea is to put down just subconsciously put white lines at every driveway and say blind. And the kids, just over and over again, see it.
Yeah.
They might slow down in the driveway.
Yeah.
There was one parent that wanted us to walk the kids down to the end of the Ooh Circus. But then we joke, because Brian Sasso's mother, with those 2 doors down, hit a student a couple years ago. And, so you can walk them 500 feet, but they still have to get home.
right.
And then, does that mean we're responsible for them all the way to
No,
their home? So
no.
Leave them on the train track,
No.
just walk them to the train track. Easier.
So I mean, my push would be to, they have to do a safe walk.
I like that.
Safe routes to school. Is the key. It includes the path for the tennis courts, safe routes to school, so
Yeah.
the kids have access to Kentucky, because it'll help us in the summer.
Yeah.
So,
So at some point, we'll be collecting ideas from neighborhood residents and committees, I'm guessing, for all of
This-
their.
this intersection has, the light is,
I know, it's brutal. So these are the sorts of things I
Yeah.
think that they're going to be addressing, and I'm glad to finally be part of it.
I just want them to do, just needs a new light. I mean, that light has been there since that's 60 years old, beyond 60 years old.
It's
And
crazy.
I don't know why, I wish it was green the other way, because I think Ripley Road is more of the main road before Sawyer Street was,
Yeah,
before, because the school is there.
Yeah.
So they want to slow
but
traffic
now
down,
it's Sawyer Street
and now I just wish it was green going this way.
Yeah. for longer.
Yeah, just anything, and
Yeah.
and the 1 minute crosswalk,
Oh, don't get me started.
I mean, by the time the kid gets across, by the time, after 1 minute, he's already downtown the harbor. He leaves before it turns cross, the other thing has a free shot, and
Yep,
then a minute later, the whole intersection's blocked off, and kids are already down the harbor.
right. So there are a whole bunch of issues, so many issues. Anyway,
A lot of sidewalks that are needed.
I agree.
I know you do.
Couldn't agree more.
Anyone else have anything to add
I'm with it.
for today?
Oh, yeah, you were there at the meeting when it was. At the town meeting.
No. You did
Oh,
great.
Motion to adjourn. We did.
Second is, all those in favor?
Aye.
Sure, you got that movement motion?
No, I did, I missed it, I'm so sorry.
Second,
It was first motion ever. No, it isn't. Oh, what?
second that motion.
Allison, first
No.
motion ever.
On that.
Katie, do we have a certificate?